Brought to you by JEGS.
Hi, I'm Lisa Chissis. I'm the president and owner of Flex-a-lite, and I'm here to show you our new 2010-2011 Camaro kit fan radiator combination. This is how it's going to come from the factory. So you're going to get the fans already mounted to the radiator. See how we're using the side channels here so we're not going through the core to mount the electric fan. And we've included all the bracketry you'll need to complete the installation, as well as any connectors we'll need for the wiring. First things first, we want to make sure we disconnect the battery. The battery's in a little bit of an odd location for this application. I'm actually back in the trunk here, so if I pull up this carpet, there's a wing nut here. Take off this plastic piece. This comes out. Now we're to the battery. We need to make sure that we disconnect the ground terminal right here. In order to get to the fan radiator system that's in here, I'm going to have to remove some of the other components. So I'm going to start with the oil fill cap here, so I can take off the cover for the engine block. This just snaps in. Once I've got it removed, I want to remove this air intake cover here. I'm going to start with detaching the hose here. I've loosened the screw here. I'm disconnecting the wiring over here. And then I've got a couple of clips on this side that were removed so I can take out the entire system. Next thing you want to do is drain the system. First thing I'll do is remove the cap so that I remove the pressure in the system. And then there's a drain plug on the bottom side here, driver's side, so I can get rid of all the fluids. Once the fluids are out, I'm going to remove the inlet hose here, your steam hose here, this connection here, as well as my electric fan connector here, so that I can remove the electric fan assembly. Okay, now we're going to remove the electric fan assembly. I've got 2 bolts here and here. I've already removed this one. Once I've got the 2 bolts in, there's a clip down at the bottom that I'm going to kind of jockey it out. Kind of lift up on one side and then take out the entire fan assembly. Now that the fan's removed, you can see that we need to remove the lower radiator hose here, and we've also got transmission lines on this application, so we'll need to remove these lines here. Now, the Flex-a-Fit radiator isn't going to have the transmission cooler in it, so we've developed an auxiliary direct fit kit for you as well. Okay, to remove these transmission lines here, I'm going to pull this clip back here, and you're going to see a connection like this that needs to come out. Once you remove that, then you can go ahead and remove the line. Next thing we're going to do is remove the brackets that are holding on the radiator here. Be sure to save these because we're going to use them later on in the installation. So I went ahead and disconnected this guy. Okay. Now that we've got access to the bolts that are holding on the AC condenser, you can see I've removed one here. I'm going to remove this here, so then I can try to separate the AC condenser from the radiator. Once I've got the bolt removed, see how it's sitting down in here. It's actually sitting in some loops in the bottom of the radiator here. So in order to get it out, I'm going to lift it up. And pull it away from the radiator. Now that I've got the AC condenser separated from the radiator's ready to come out. Once you remove the radiator, these grommets are going to come along with it. Remove it from the bottom of the radiator and replace it right back into these holes. Since we are going to mount the auxiliary transmission cooler for this application, we're going to need to get access into here. In order to do that, I've got these clips in here that you can see I've removed, as well as these bolts here. There's 4 of them. Once I've got those out, I can just unscrew these kind of hood mount bolts. They're here. so I can remove this assembly. Now that I've got that removed, next I'm going to disassemble the hood latch right here. I've removed this plastic clip from the frame down here in the Camaro and replaced it with this body clip. That way I've got something for my bolt to thread into. My cooler is going to drop down in with the bolts in here, one on each side, as well as a spacer that's going to go underneath. Okay, so we've completed our installation of the transmission oil cooler here. You can see that we've bolted it down in the bottom there, as well as 2 bolts up here at the top. I've also removed the original transmission hose here, and you can see it's been replaced with the hose right here that was provided with your kit. Next, we're going to position our bottom brackets. You can see here that the condenser is going to sit into this bracket just like it did on the O.E radiator. And you've also got this right here that's going to sit into the rubber grommet right here. Okay, now I'm going to position the top brackets. You can see the lip is going to go on the front of the radiator here, and I want to make sure that the mounting flange for the condensers are on the outside. There are 2 different brackets for the top. Alright, now I'm ready to put the radiator fan into the Camaro. It's going to sit on those bottom brackets. Clear the hose on the left side. Now you want to reattach your AC condenser to the radiator using the top bracket here. You can see there's 1 bolt that we've already tightened up on this side. I'm just going to tighten this one up over here. Alright, now you want to tighten up the bolts for the brackets on the bottom of the radiator. There's 2 bolts and there's 2 brackets down here. Okay, these are the brackets that we saved from before that we're going to use to reattach the top of the radiator to our frame. That one's already been attached here, and I'm just going to screw this one in on this side here. We need to reattach the radiator hose to the inlet here, but you can see it's a little too long, so we're going to go ahead and cut about 3 inches or so right here. After we cut down the hose, you can see I've reattached my lower hose here to the outlet. I've reattached my overflow here, and I've also attached, this is provided, the steam vent back to this location. Last thing I'll do is reconnect the radiator hose to the inlet here and clamp it down. Remember, we are going to reuse this connection here for our wires, but we do need some length, so use this as your reference points of where you're going to clip them. See, this one's going to go right here and right here. So you can see we've reattached the connector here. I've zip tied here, and then I've put on the butt connectors provided here. Make sure that you're doing a good connection. I shouldn't see this splayed out at all, and I should be able to tug on the butt connector without it coming off. I'm going to then reattach this to the black and red wires going to the motor here on both sides, and then I want to finish up by securing it to the shroud with some zip ties provided so that my wiring isn't going to be moving around. You can see we finished securing down our wires here. Now it's time to replenish the fluids in our system. Before you put the antifreeze back in, I do suggest you add a bottle of this Flex-a-chill. It's going to have some more protection for your system to stop from corrosion and scaling that can happen. Of course, you've got your radiator cap that was included in your kit. I do need to put the engine cover back on and the intake filter. Once I do that, I want to get it to operating temperature, then come back, check my fluids again, make sure they're at their proper levels. Other than that, you're done.
Brought to you by JEGS. Lifetime support. Complete customer satisfaction. Delivering performance since 1960. JEGS.com.